welcome to this installment of 52 Masters. In this episode, I'm learning Kenjutsu, the sword art of the samurai, from my good friend, Bruce Nguyen. That being said, let's get to training. I am 51 years old. I've been a practitioner of Okinawan Shorin-ryu karate since I was 7. There was some who would call me a master. I assure you, I am not. I believe that the true expert is someone who still has a student's heart and a beginner's mind. This year, to celebrate turning 52, I'm setting out to learn from 52 other disciplines, each from its own master. Some things I've tried before, others I'm a first-day beginner, like anyone else. 52 weeks, 52 new skills. I'm William Christopher Ford, and this is 52 Masters. Could you please explain how I sit properly and all that stuff?
So first we're going to separate our hands a bit, okay? And then we're going to go left and hit on the inside. Hit right, left, and then right, and then sit right, left, right, and sit down. Just so it's out of our way, right? So we can feet.
Right.
And then the sword, we're going to put on the right side and facing towards you.
Facing
Blade in. Because that shows how we're at peacetime and we're not at war. Because if we're at war, let's say like a general meeting or something, it'd be here. So I can easily draw my blade.
Because most people are right-handed, and in Japan there was no such thing as
left-handed.
got it. And I happen to be left-handed, by the way, just in case. A little bit of trivia there. So this is correct. Blade towards me, always on my right side, and this is basically peace. And then from there we do the
bow. So the bow first is going to be left hand first, then right, and then bow. And then when you come up, it's going to be right, and then left. And then yes.
Thank you very much. Please.
Sensei, red.
Thank you. Arigatou.
You face Sensei.
Ready?
Hey. Today we're going to share and train with you with the Gokyo series first. So we're going to do one with kata today. And now we should remove out the ankle, we hold and bow. Alright, and we're going to start a short kata, what actually is the advanced kata in a series they call Gokyo series. I mean, that kata is the samurai, they don't have armor. That's just normal carry for them. So this actually is the second kata. It's called Yasuno touch. Okay, so again, now we're going to go through the kata, and we teach you every kata we have two sides. One is senior and one is junior. So we're going to do the junior right now.
Junior kata.
Junior side.
Junior.
Because you have to fight with somebody else, and after that, me and Reese, we're going to explain the bunkai. Okay, so again, bow, front, right foot, front directly forward, back, 45. Okay, hand blade up, right here on your left hip, hand relax here, and bow, lift over your right. Okay, arigatou. And when I say kata, Reese, can you say the kata name? Hey, kata.
Yotsuno touch.
Yotsuno touch. So,
Yotsuno touch.
chi, one. Left leg forward. And expand your hand so they clear out your kimono. And now, draw again. Seiyabiki with left hand. And release, up, catching here. Right. So now, for the junior side, we're going to step back. Do almost like Zenku Sudachi, front stand for karate people. Okay. Now, open hand. This one, you look through pretty much the forest. So give an illusion that your opponent don't know what is going on. And that's knee down. Now you're going to slide your left leg over. Okay. On top. Yes, now step in with right leg, 2. hands on top, left hand on top. Now you push your opponent's sword up almost hit. As soon as they clear, cut the waist and get up. Okay, now step the left leg over. 1, receive the cut. It's about like shoulder height. Okay, now move in. 2. Now don't move your feet. 3. Okay, now we're gonna step across this way. Set it up so you get so close to your opponent. Your blade now try to cut at the neck level of your opponent. If you don't have the opponent there, your neck level. Now when you draw, you turn this blade up to cut inside of their wrist. Draw in. Good. Now they open ski to the knee. 1. Now they will block. Right? You're gonna flip this sword around and attack gate down. Okay? And step back up. And 1. Now move back, straight back to the opening position. Now, return. And down. Okay, so that's step by step. Right, now Ree's going to be in front of me. Just kick, right? And now you're going to do it with me too. But now we have the other side. Hey, just no touch. So now he's going to be the senior side. And normally when we cross, it's 3 inches, right? So now the junior going to step back, senior step in. And both sides out. Now he's going to come in and cut the cheek, jaw, man cut, right? I'm going to move to the side to avoid the cut, and I cut up to his wrist. And what he does, he removes his hand and go now up. He's gonna cut open up on his forehead, right? Now what I'm gonna do is step in, push it up. See, his sword is up. He open, midsection open. I cut and get out. He's gonna remove his target and get out. Now he's gonna step in, jaw, man cut. Okay. Now step in 2. Yeah. 3. Now I'm gonna cross. Both sides try so close. He cross. I'm gonna cut his neck. Go in, cut his wrist. Ski to his leg. Now flip, clear, and get. Receive again. Get back. 1. And okay. So that's the explanation of why we do the cuts. This is a practice session, so we don't have to go through all the etiquette portion of it. So you can start straight to this cut.
Okay, I can give you no touch. Hey, yeah, top.
You go to my neck. Just go in. 1, 2. Yes. So the guys, when they do this, they almost like screw themselves out, and they will be one. Okay. Yeah, it's really cool. This one. Yeah. Go in. Just here. Don't open wide. Go to my neck. Okay. Ois, arigatou gozaimasu. Thank you, Sensei. Thank you. Ois, thank you. Thank you.
Sensei Bruce was a good friend of my Sensei Rabago for many years. As you know, he passed away. But he and I have been able to maintain a very good friendship. And as you saw, I did some karate training here in another episode. And today we got to do a little bit of Kenjutsu. Now, you are originally a karate man, but you do Kenjutsu also. Could you please explain a little bit about that? Because I think it's kind of a funny story.
Yes, the story is funny that I never planned to do Kenjutsu at all. Actually, my Kenjutsu sensei, he had a seminar during my sensei karate seminar many times.
Okay.
I saw him walk out with this.
Okay.
And I said, look weird, right? At first,
Look weird.
like, who wearing stuff like this this day?
Okay.
But then my friend one day said, can you come over and recorded his study Kenjutsu so he can go home and train. I'm just, at that time we don't have iPhone yet, right? So I took my tape recorder and go over it and recording it, and then they're missing a partner. I said, Bruce, can you step on the floor and do practice? And that's how I started my Kenjutsu journey about like 15, 16 years ago with Sensei Howard High.
Howard High.
Yeah, and he's also karateka too. So actually, since you mentioned Sensei Robago, Sensei Robago and Sensei High, they are good friends at one point. That we set up the seminar that in Camp Pendleton way back then. That for Kenjutsu, the Sensei High teaching, and then also Sensei Robago teaching Kobudo. So now when you mention Sensei Robago, he's just like my karate father to me, a great man. I think thanks to him, because of him, I found you as another friend, another brother I can call. Because Sensei Robago, he's such a great man. Everything in my life is, I have many sensei in my life. But Sensei Robago, he's the guy who I can talk straight, that I have no holdback, and he can give me good advice. So to him, miss him very much.
Yeah, he is very well missed, but he does lives on, in his students and his kids, and anybody who came into contact him for sure. You have a couple of kids who are still with you. They started Kenjutsu with you early on. We have Reese, and we have Katie, and they have stuck with it. I mean, I know they do the karate, and they're just taking over the world and the competition and all that. But it's good to see them still doing the more ancient sword art. What is it about Kenjutsu that you like so much?
That's a great question. I think I fall in love with any martial art I get my hands on. That's the problem, because I always try to figure out why they do it this way, and how beautiful it is. I know that this day we don't use sword to fight. We don't use weapon to fight this day, but the beautiful of it is the elegant art. It's elegant art. The way that you hold your sword, the way you cut, everything is relate, and more and more, I think it's more that I interest about it, because I also train in Aikido. So you can see the Kenjutsu part and the way of Kenjutsu movement and Aikido just connect to each other. That's why it's more interesting for me. And that's the reason that I like to stick with Kenjutsu more, because the more I do Kenjutsu, the better I understand Aikido part of it. And for my kid, the story is quite funny too, is that Katie and Reese, they've been with me for years. I can say they're 4 years old. And I think when they're about 5, 6 years old, my sensei never allowed us to teach Kenjutsu to any kids. No kids. You have to be 16 and older. Because he said no. And then my sensei not in town, so he in Kansas at the time. So I just secretly testing out the water. So I brought Katie and Reese out and teach them Kenjutsu. And I taught them all the Kihon, Kenjutsu Kihon. And then I taught them the first kata, Ichi no touch. And that's an omote series. And they're 4 or 5 years old and they can pick it up. I'm so amazed of it. They're too short. They cannot use the full katana of Bokan, we call Bokuto this day. I will have to use the short sword for them, because they're too long for them. Each year is short. And then after a couple of months, I could train with them. I have so much fun with them. And then when my sensei come back, I get a chat like this. Sensei, please sit down. I got something to show you. If you don't like it, I will stop this project right away. And he sat down, and I know that he wondered in his mind, what's going on with this guy, right? And I bought these 2 kids out with Hakama and Blue Top, and said, oh. After they did a couple moves, he said, give me my okay. I come out, he played with the kid.
Oh, nice.
And that's how I start my kid Kenjutsu. At one point, I have a lot of students, but again, Kenjutsu is not like other art. You have to repeat art over and over, technique over and over. But even myself right now, after 15, 16 years, I still have to learn the same kata, and I still find flaws from that. So it's funny that every time my sensei come in, he make me do the first kata first, and he still can find something I do wrong. So, but I don't know what it is, but the kids still around. I think because that they care for me, that they don't want to leave the old man just practice their Kenjutsu by himself. So they just stick around. So I'm so lucky that Katie, Shimohara, and Reese, Yoshizawa, they very good. They're always there for me. Even that they went to teach Kenjutsu class with me in Fresno last week.
Okay.
We travel early in the morning, pick them up early. They're ready at 5 o'clock. Go teach for 3 hours. Eat quickly, come back same day. So next day we can train again.
Okay.
So I'm very lucky because every sensei that if lucky enough, you have some student that always there for you.
Sure.
And I think I'm one of them.
The nice thing is that, you know, I go down the list and I was like, oh, you know what? We can do some karate conditioning with Sensei Chad, and we can do Kenjutsu with yourself. And, you know, I was like, you know, I haven't put on a hakama in years. I used to do Japanese dance, and, you know, it's been years, and so I've forgotten a lot of that. But, you know, you presented me with a hakama that I'm wearing today, and you said, oh, just wear your karate gi top. You know, I like the fact that, you know, we are practicing a tradition, but, you know, for the sake of practice today, we don't necessarily have to go through the full etiquette. You know, I'm wearing my karate gi with my loose patch. You know, some people might look at that and go, oh, look at that, you know, it's bad etiquette and bad form.
Yes,
and,
yes.
You know, and we understand that, you know, and with all due respect, you know, we just want to practice the art. So, you know, we understand that, you know, we may not be doing things exactly the way they were supposed to be doing them. And some people would look at us and go, oh my gosh, you know, how embarrassing, you know.
Yeah.
But the thing is that I'm here to learn, and I do appreciate you.
Thank you, Sensei.
While
Yes.
walking me through this process. What is your favorite weapon? Do you like the sword or the naginata, or is there another weapon that's used in Kenjutsu that you like?
Actually, yes, I like the sword the most.
The sword.
You know why? There is a reason behind it. Kenjutsu, the starter we train that they have all different other weapons, even shuriken and all that.
Okay.
That's full on military training back then for samurai for this stuff.
Okay.
So they have naginata, they have yari, they have bow, they have everything. But the reason that I like sword because Kenjutsu is the sword art, and every kata, the guy who have the sword have to win at the end.
I see.
That's why I like it.
Because you get to win.
You get a win, right?
Yes.
So that's the reason. So,
I
but again, because I did a lot of it and I enjoy it. The job, because sometimes when your mind cloudy, you have a trouble day.
Sure.
I just bring my swords out, just go to the room. No, not too many people. You learn how to listen to your soul when you draw. I'm not perfect. I'm not a good eye person, but when you draw, you calm your mind, and you can feel that your body start to connect to the sword, and I think that will help trouble mind, and that's how I use my sword to practice. Sometimes when I have trouble of my thought, life trouble, sometimes you just need to go out, do something. That's what I do. I just go in and just draw because that's like meditation to me.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that it's a lot like walking meditation. You know, when there's something about even when you're doing karate kata, or you know, you're picking up a bokuto or in the yaito, and it just starts to, you know, you go into no mind. You know,
Yes.
where it's just and it becomes very meditative and relaxing, and some people might even say very healing. You know,
It is,
yes,
Sensei.
for sure.
That's how I think it is. So that's why and then you start to learn how to control your breathing. During the day, we don't breathe well.
Yeah,
We're just like
for sure.
so rushed through the day this day so much, right?
Sure,
So
sure.
when you draw, you start to inhale a bit. So that's why back then when I was younger, I looked at people doing yai. I said, how come so boring?
Yeah.
But now I think when I'm older, and I said, I appreciate that. Those are the art that healing. That I think that if people, you don't need to be perfect cut, you don't need to be perfect draw, but because of the movement, just help you to concentrate on your breathing or your walking. That help you to relax. So I think that's the reason I like it a lot.
I agree. I totally agree. I think you hit the nail on the head. You mentioned earlier that even though this comes from the older style, the much older style of Katori Shinto-ryu, you're not affiliated with the Katori Shinto-ryu in Japan. It's just, this is where it comes from, and this is what you learned from Howard Hai Sensei. I see.
Yes, because I think my sensei Howard Hai, he a great Kenjutsu instructor, and he also lucky that he worked for government, and it just happened he worked with another official from Japan, and that gentleman is happened to be Katori Shinto-ryu members. He started to share, and I remember back then there is no Katori Shinto-ryu outside Japan at all. Not even if you're in Japan and you want to join Katori Shinto-ryu, it's really hard to get in. And I think he stepped out. He stepped out, he said, this is a beautiful art. He started to share to my sensei. And lucky enough that my sensei have a very good foundation in martial art. And he just picked it up, everything. And that's how he passed it out to us. And unfortunately, that I learned from him, and I'm still looking forward to training with him more. Because just like you said, student mind, nobody master, nobody perfect. Every day we try to do better. Even one draw, we try to draw better next day. So that, to me, that's how I think, even that we said that we train Katori Shinto-ryu art, but we do that kata, we do all that, but we're not affiliated with them at all. I learned directly to my sensei, and that Jinkan International. So he started with his own organization. But I know that we start hard train with some organization from Katori Shinto-ryu this day. And I think that based on what I see, we're very close. We respect what they have been done. We respect the art because without all those people, we don't have a beautiful art to train this day. So I would respect everybody for that. But what I learned is from my sensei. If I want to pass to my student, one thing is no quitting. Because life is hard. I've been up and down all my life, seriously. Without martial art, I think I'm in trouble. But martial art teach me one thing is not quitting. If you quit, game over. So with them, they can be hard at school. Sometimes when they grown up, they go find jobs, hard, find jobs, sometimes family problem. But if they quit, the battle is over. So that's why, if that's one thing I want to tell my kid, is never quit. Whatever you believe, follow through. And life is a battle. You cannot quit. You just drop your guard one day, it's over. So, no quitting.
True, very true. Thank you so much for.
Thank you, Sensei.
Thank you for what you do
Appreciate
in the community. But thank you for who you are, and for your kindness, for your generosity today, and teaching me a little bit of something. And I appreciate you being on 52 Masters. And
Thank you so much for having me.
Well,
I'm honored.
We're friends forever.
For sure, Sensei. Always, thank you.
One of the greats. So this has been 52 Masters with Sensei Bruce Nguyen. See you next time.
Always, thank you.